Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Hey everybody, it's Michael J. Maher with another episode of Referrals Podcast, a very special one today. Not only do we have a phenomenal guest on today, but we are starting year number 3. Can you believe that we were going to make it to our 3rd birthday? I will tell you that I had my doubts early on, but I have to tell you I love doing it now. Right? What is it? The terrible 2s, and then it's, what is it? The 3s? I don't know what it is, but the bottom line is we're through the terrible 2s and we're on to the 3s. And I am so excited about that. And I'm excited about our guest today, which he is going to disclose and give us some of the secrets of marketing and what we need to be doing right now to be getting business, and very exciting. Before I get to that, a couple of announcements. Number one, I got to give a shout out to one of our iTunes reviewers. So this iTunes reviewer said, the podcast is loaded with content, creates a motivational mindset to increase generosity among servant leaders. Michael has a pay it forward attitude, a practicer of what he preaches, and interviews top leaders in every industry. The content is real and usable. And I want to thank Girl Mom Texas. I'm just saying, Girl Mom Texas, for that review. And I will tell you that, I mean, like 3 things I love right there, right? I love my girl, I love my mom, and I love Texas. So Girl Mom Texas, sounds like you love those 3 things too. And I love those, and I love your words of encouragement, and I love those who leave iTunes reviews. Please continue doing that. If you like today's episode, do me a favor, subscribe, share, leave a review on iTunes. Let us know that you'd love it. Let us know that you're getting lots of great content out of it. That does inspire me to want to continue delivering the goods, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done, listeners and viewers. I just absolutely appreciate all the great words we hear from you. And then, you know, one real quick announcement before we bring Cody on is we are doing our Referral Mastery Summit this year. We are going to do it virtually. So you can literally take it and take in the material from anywhere, the convenience of your home, convenience of your office if you're working from an office. But the bottom line is it is virtual. Even the sessions will be recorded. So you can check that out at referralmasterysummit.com. As many of you know, we did the Smart Restart Summit recently, sold out very quickly. We're going to do the same thing. We keep the numbers limited. We do charge a price so you actually show up. We do give away TVs during the summit. That's always fun. But the thing that I want you to know is we keep the numbers limited so that during the Q&A, when we do the Zoom meetings, it's like you're getting one-on-one coaching from the guests and from the speakers and from myself. So check out referralmasterysummit.com. Try to make that happen, and that's coming up in October. Now, without further ado, I've got to bring on our guest today. This guy is all the way from Australia. This guy coming all the way from Australia to speak with us today. Cody Butler is the #1 best-selling author of a couple of books, God Attitude. You know I'm going to love that. And the 90-day marketing plan that just came out. You're going to want to get this book. You're going to want to check it out. Cody is widely accepted as one of the world's leading experts on small business marketing and business growth. He's been featured on Fox, ABC, and NBC, and has consulted for multinational corporations, sports stars, and also celebrities. Cody's worked with over 5,000 businesses to date, and his latest project, the 90-day marketing plan, is designed to help small business owners create an effective marketing plan, even in these difficult times. Cody Butler, welcome to Referrals Podcast. Welcome.
Thank you so much. What can I say? Thank you for that introduction, Mike. It's an honor and a privilege, and to be on a podcast with somebody like yourself, great privilege. Thank you very much.
Well, I have to say right off the bat, congratulations on the 90-day marketing plan success. I love the name of the book. It's everything somebody would want in the title. You can kind of judge the book by the title, you know. It's the 90-day marketing plan. We know exactly what we're going to get. But I will tell you, the genius within is what I love. It's simple, but it's also genius. And that way anybody can take it, they can implement it, and their business is going to grow and their revenues are going to grow as well. And I'm going to go bottom line with this, you know, is what's the fastest way any business can increase its revenue? I mean, talk about like no short time. Hey, how's your family? How's COVID trade? It's like, you know, we kind of did that in the pre-show, and I love you, but it's like, hey, let's go, right? It's like, it's like,
show me the money, baby. Show me the money.
That's right. That's right. So I'm glad to hear everybody's okay. I'm glad that you're okay. And I'm glad to hear Australia has such a low incident of COVID-19 and could probably teach us a lot from our avenue as well. But I have to tell you, my listeners are really like, hey, what's the fastest way to the cash, right? What's the fastest way that a business could increase its revenue?
Okay, so the fastest way to get money, the fastest way to the cash is to ask for it. There you go.
Yeah. So what does it look like, right? So it's like, I can't just go out and say, hey, give me some money, right? I will tell you though, that, you know, we're wearing masks in the United States quite a bit. And, you know, if you go to the bank with a mask on, somebody might give you money by accident. Like, I think banks are the only businesses in the country where you can't wear a mask into it. So
right.
So we ask for it. So what's that look like?
So what I mean by that, Mike, is as business owners, we have to understand when we speak to somebody and ask them for a sale, we ask them for what we want them to do, and they say no, they're actually not saying no, they're saying not right now.
Okay.
It's not a great time. It's like, I may ask to come on your podcast and you go, no, Cody, I'm fully booked. But that's not no, that means not right now. If I ask you again at a later date, at a better time, the answer might be yes. So the number one mistake that business owners really make that's killing their revenue, killing their cash flow, is they simply don't have a process in place that allows them to continuously loop back around and say, okay, so now's not a good time. I'll check back next week. Is now a good time? No, so not right now. Okay, so I'll check back next week. Is now a good time? Yeah, now's a great time.
So you've worked with over 5,000 businesses, and this is a unrehearsed question, but I am a super duper curious person, and you're an expert, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so what is a business out of the 5,000 businesses that like literally went from maybe not asking or asking in the wrong way?
Yep.
To a scenario where they learned how to ask, or they learned how to put something out there that communicated that they were open to business. Can you give us an example?
Great question. So worked with a gym recently, and they had an in-house list of non-currents that people that had showed interest and hadn't registered a membership, or they had a membership and stopped. We just sent out a simple email to that list saying, hey, are you still interested in losing a few pounds and feeling great this summer? Let me know. That one email, $54,000.
Wow. All right. So you like this. Here's our show notes, right? Throw them out. Let's go in. Like, now you've like piqued my curiosity. Like, here we go, right? This is why everybody loves the Referrals podcast, is because we get to go, oh, you know, the way to increase revenues is marketing. Duh. Right. I mean, but no, we're gonna, okay. So how many people did they have that they sent this email to?
3,000 people.
3,000. All right. All right. 3,000. Now, how did they get the information for those 3,000 people?
So those were people that had showed some interest at some point. They were either past members who'd canceled their membership, or they were people that had inquired and hadn't actually joined the gym. Mm-hmm. But anyone has this list within their business. So if you're networking, if you're getting your business through referrals, if you're like a chiropractor or allied medical, for example, you have a list of people that you've been in contact with over the last 12 to 18 months. If you don't have that list, you're not in business.
That's right.
And it's not necessarily, an email list as we understand it. It can be a list of business cards. I went to a networking meeting this week, and it's like, I've got a list of business cards here. I can go to my LinkedIn connections. There's a huge amount of people that are in my universe that would potentially be interested in what it is that I'm doing, that
Right.
said not right now at some point, that I didn't follow up with.
That's right. So, so they sent this email that says, hey, are you still looking to lose a few pounds and get into shape for summer? Question mark.
Yeah.
And then was there a call to action of any kind? I know these are super specific questions, but
Let me know. Me know.
So that was it?
So
Was there a call to action?
Yeah. So there's two steps to making this work, Mike. The first is like, it's like you said with the title of the book, really know what people want. Do you want to lose weight and feel great? Well, what do people want? They want to lose weight and feel great, right? Those are the two things. And then the second step is make it super, super, super easy to allow people to do what it is that you want them to do. So you don't put, hey, would you like to lose some weight? Do you still want to lose weight and feel great this summer? If you do, fill out my 72 question application, and then we'll book a 45-minute strategy session at the gym. And then, it's like, no. It's like, what is the minimum viable commitment that I can get this person to take to get me the result that I'm looking for? And the answer to that question is respond to this email. Just click reply, and I'll have someone call you.
I love it.
So a big mistake that business owners make.
Right? Click reply and we'll help.
Yes, reply and we'll help. Exactly. It's like one of the big mistakes that business owners make is they make it too darn difficult for the prospect to do what you want them to do.
Okay, number one, make it easy for people to do business with you. Make it easy for people to find you. Make it easy for people to do business with you. That's rule number one. And it goes back to Cialdini, Dr. Robert Cialdini. He wrote a book called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. And he talks in there about the law of commitment. And the law of commitment is that if somebody takes a small step with you, they're likely to finish all of the steps with you.
That's
so
right.
if they take a step towards you, they're likely to complete that sale with you. What people try to do is they try to make them take a giant leap to come towards them, like a 17-question questionnaire or a one-on-one in-person high-intensity sales meeting. But what you're saying, Cialdini, is like just reply. Make it really easy for them to take the first step and be really good at identifying what is that first little step that's easy for them and gets them moving towards you. I know that seems super simple to you and as a marketing expert, but it is so amazing to me how many emails I get where it's like, I do have a little bit of interest, and then it's like, you got to go through all these hoops to just take the process, and it just doesn't work. So I love that we dove deep on that. And so click reply. They called back, and they just called these people in the order that they replied. And eventually this gym generated $54,000 in revenue from this one email plus the follow-up.
From a dead list, from an asset that they had in their business that they were ready to throw away.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This jumps to real estate right now. Is realtors, we need to have an email go out that says, are you still interested in looking at homes? I could show homes this weekend. Please hit reply and let me know if you're just still in the market to look for homes. If you're not, let me know that too. And just get them to reply, get them to raise their hand. And you might be surprised at how many people will re-catch the bug of buying a home simply by you asking, simply by you putting it out there that you're available and willing to help. So I love that.
Can I add something to that, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
So what a lot of people will do there is they go too far. So they'll say, hey, are you still interested in a home in the Atlanta region? Because if you are, we've got XXXXXXXXX, and it ended up becoming a chapter of a book. It's like, again, what is the lowest viable commitment? You're asking somebody to do something, right? It's like, make it super short, super concise. Are you interested? Are you still interested in homes in the Atlanta region? Let me know. Don't try and make the sale in that email because they simply won't read the email.
That's right. That's right. I love that. Yeah, they'll send in there that here's the 10 homes that are available, or you don't want them to make any choice. You want them to make a decision. And that's the that's power of sales right there is, don't help people necessarily make a choice, right? The decision is theirs. Help them take action. That's really, we're motivational as much as we are anything, right?
Absolutely.
So what's the biggest mistake you see businesses making when it comes to marketing and growth?
They just quit too soon, Mike. They
Wow.
just quit too soon. So a great example is the real estate. I work with real estate agents as you do, and they just quit too soon. So somebody interested in a house, again, it's the perfect example of not right now. It's like, are you still interested in a house in the Atlanta region? Not right now. But they are, somebody who looks at a house, that visits a house, is going to buy a house in the next 18 months.
Right.
But they're probably not going to buy a house in the next 3 months necessarily. Only a small percentage will. And the same, you look at car dealerships, somebody goes and looks at a new car, they're probably going to buy a car within 18 months.
That's right.
But they're probably not going to buy a car today.
A car lot, they're buying a car in a week or two. I mean, that's like painful. If they're going to go through that pain, they're looking for a car, So it's kind of like that with an open house in real estate. If somebody goes to an open house in real estate, they're in the market. They're going to be, they're going to just so kind of assume that they're going to buy. And I think that's one thing a lot of people don't do is they don't assume that the person they're looking at is a potential buyer, right? They just they kind of take what the person says as the answer, which is, oh, we're just looking, or we're just browsing. Well, no, they're buying, they just haven't bought yet. And then don't quit too soon, right?
Yep.
So Cody, what's that look like? Is there a way to follow up and not quit too soon that is appropriate and that fits a relationship? What does that look like to not quit too soon?
So my personal favorite is email, using email. So there are a couple of strategies you can use. There's some retargeting strategies, stuff like that, but that's a little bit complex. It's technical. I don't really want to get into that here, but the easiest one is email. Capture, incentivize the prospect giving their email address in return for something cool. So if you own a cafe, for example, a coffee shop or something like that, you can offer a free piece of cake with your coffee in return for the email address.
That's right. And
then every week you just send out an email. If you're a car dealership, you can offer you get air conditioning for free if you give us your email address right now.
Right.
So they're going to give that discount anyway, right? So get something in return for it. They're going to negotiate that down anyway. So you've got to be gathering contact details of the prospect as when they first come into contact with you. And you've got to understand, you made a very good point. Like, you've got to understand the language of sales. So when someone says to an agent, we're just looking right now, what they're actually saying is, I don't want a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pressured. They're not just looking, they're looking to buy, but what they're saying is, I want to do this by myself right now. It's like, cool. Okay. Do it by yourself. I'll check back with you in a week or so.
Right. Exactly. I love that. And you know what? I will tell you, Cody, you actually bring up a really powerful point that I wish more realtors, or just in general, I think salespeople could just acknowledge that. Like when somebody says, no, we're just browsing, and it's like, hey, listen, I've heard I'm just browsing, thousands of times. It's okay. Here's what you're really saying. You're saying, hey, don't pressure me. And I want you to know that's not my style. My style is not to pressure, but I do want you to know that I want to be the one that's with you when we make this happen, because I know that I'm going to have your best interest at heart. Right. So listen, I'll stay in touch. I'll be around, no pressure, but you keep browsing and I'll keep hanging out and hopefully we can work this out together in the end. Right. So just powerful to acknowledge that you understand how they're feeling, and it kind of disarms them, brings the barriers down.
Well, exactly right. If somebody, if you're getting ready to enter into this relationship and person A says, one of the conditions of this relationship is I don't want to be pressured, and the second person immediately pressures, immediately applies pressure, it's like, well, this is not going to work, is it? It's like if person A says, one of my conditions of this relationship is I don't want to be pressured. And person B says, I respect that. I'll be over here when you're ready to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're looking at a win there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have to be careful with my examples. My wife is also the person who produces the Referrals podcast. So sometimes I have these really crude examples, and she's always like holding her breath. Like right now, she's holding her breath right over there with because she knows I have this really crude example, right? Which is dating, right? Dating. And the whole like first date, is it going to end in the S word, right? And all this pressure. And it's just like, if there's that pressure, neither one of them have a good time, right? And it's just like, hey, listen, here's the deal. This is a meet and greet. We're just getting to know each other. There's no pressure here. Let's have coffee. Let's have dinner. And let's call it a night from there. And we'll see what happens, right? Versus all that, one person's like, I don't want to be pressured. The other one's all over them. And it's like, it's not going to work. That's not going to work. It's the same way. Salespeople, they're taught to be this uber aggressive, and aggressive does not work.
No.
Relational works. So what are the 3 steps a business can take today to see immediate growth? And Cody, isn't that like the question of today? What are the 3 steps a business can take today to see immediate growth?
Yeah. Well, we talked about the first one a little bit. It's go back and find all of the people that you've spoken to over the last 18 months and reach out to them. That's the first thing that I would suggest is go back and do that. The second thing is going to be retargeting is really the highest return on investment activity that any business can do. And it's so simple. And when I say retargeting, for people that don't understand what that is, it's when somebody visits your website, we can pixel them, we can take a record of them. And then when they go elsewhere around the website, around the internet rather, we can show them ads that pull them back to your website. So with what we talked about earlier, businesses just quit too soon. A lot of people won't make a decision when they first go to a website, or they won't make a decision. We've got to get them back. We've got to get them back. We've got to get them back. And retargeting is an amazing way to do that. It's super low cost. It's super effective, and it just flat out works. That would be the second thing. And the third thing is do something today that you've never done before. If you do more of what you've already done, you're going to get more of the results you've already got. So if you want to see something different in your business, then do something different in your business.
Yeah, I love that.
And that can be anything you want. It can be, go to a networking meeting. We probably can't do that right now, but post something online, run an ad somewhere, start a retargeting campaign, do something different if you expect to get a different result.
So let's talk about the retargeting a little bit. So we've already talked about like bringing life to dead assets, which is old inquiries, the database, that kind of thing. And then, so with retargeting, is that something that you and your company do, or is that something that you farm out to a consultant, or can you inform me on that?
Yeah. So either or. So we do as a company, we do implement strategies for businesses. We also consult and train as well. So we've got a done for you aspect, and we've got a consulting and training aspect as well.
So if I wanted to retarget, would I go to you, or would you refer me to somebody else?
Yeah, I can definitely help you with retargeting for sure. It's super simple. It's super. It's one of the easiest things you can do. So with the real estate example, we can, if somebody goes to a website with a listing for a certain town, we can then build a list for that specific town, and we can show houses around the internet to that person only for that specific town. So it's super effective. We're not annoying people. The two reasons it works is because we're not annoying people, because it's super targeted. So if you're looking for a certain neighborhood in Atlanta, let's say, we're only showing you houses as they become available in that certain neighborhood. And you're not seeing everything else, which is annoying to you. So you're getting what you want, and it's limited as well.
That's right. It's almost eerie, with Facebook or Google, and you see the, you inquired or you just looked at something, 2 days before, and then all of a sudden it's over on your right, or it's in your news feed, or you were just talking about it and then it's in your news feed. Now that's that's the one you got to worry about right there. But I will tell you, and so if a company was thinking about doing the retargeting, what's the first step that they should take? What's the first step a company should take to go down retargeting?
Well, we're in danger of getting a little bit technical here, but the simple answer is you've got to get the retargeting pixel from each platform and put it on your website, so you start recording who's coming to what pages.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say that the absolute simplest way is there are companies like AdRoll that's kind of an aggregator of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Google and all that stuff. So you can just put the AdRoll pixel on your website, and then that's a blanket that will cover all of the different platforms out there. That's the easiest way to do it, and start recording that data.
Very cool. And then do something that you've never done before. I think actually for a lot of the people that are listening or watching this, it may be the retargeting. But otherwise, you're saying there are other pillars of revenue that maybe they explore. That hey, listen, you've been doing repeat and referral. Maybe you look at doing open houses. Even in the current environment, is there a way to safely do open houses? Is your state open to it? Maybe it's phone calls, maybe it's more phone calls, maybe it's better phone calls, whatever it may be. It might be a better email system, So I love that. What's the most, and we've been kind of talking about these really tactical, strategic things, but honestly, if a business owner doesn't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter, right? So what's the most important mindset shift a business owner can make?
That's a great question. So you've got to understand that marketing is the money part of your business. That's the number one shift. Most business owners don't understand that. They're focused on lots of different aspects. And look, there's lots of reasons to be in business. Money is not the only aspect to be in business, but it's like it is what business is about. If you want to get involved in charity, go to church.
That's right. Or start a nonprofit. And I will tell you that there are a lot of businesses who have started unintentional nonprofits. You know what I mean when I'm saying that? So it's absolutely. You're exactly right. We're in business to profit. Yeah. That's because you're like, well, I'm in business to help people. Yeah. But the byproduct of that is profit. And how do you know if you're really helping people? It's profit. So you need to measure it in profit. It's very easy, right? Take your revenue, subtract your expenses, and if it comes out a positive, then you're in good shape. You've got a profit. And so what else on that? What the mindset shift of a business owner? What else? What else do they need to do?
Well, you've got to come to terms with the fact that it's okay to make money. Yeah. So you touched on some very important stuff there. It's like if you're saying I don't want to make more money, effectively what you're saying is I don't want to add any more value to the world. That's one way of looking at it. To reverse that and turn it around, if I say to myself I want to make more money in my business, I sit down with my team, and my question to the team is not how can we make more money. My question is how can we add more value to our customer base? How can we add more value? That's the question that I ask the team, because profit is a byproduct of value.
Yeah.
So effectively, if your goal is to create more value in the world, then you by default have to want to make more money. And when you understand that profit and value go hand in hand, that the company that's making the most amount of money is the company that's delivering the most amount of value, then it becomes okay to make money. If you don't think it's okay to make money, if you think there's something wrong with making over a certain amount, you're going to hit that glass ceiling and you're never going to go through it.
Yeah. The other part of that too is that I don't know why. I guess people sometimes don't want to ask for money or charge for things because they have like a low self-esteem. They value themselves less, But Absolutely. But I will tell you that one of the key breakthroughs for me early on was I noticed that if I charged money, the other person would listen to me more. Absolutely. And the other person would change their life because they paid me money. And I mean, we charge for our summit. You know, Cody, there's, 1,000 free summits out there. We charged money for our summit. Why? You know what? Because we wanted to weed out the looky-loos and the freebie seekers, and we wanted the real ones. And people luckily know that when we put something out, it's usually really, really good. But we charge people. We had 100% attendance to an online summit. I mean, people are talking about 21%, 19% as like the industry standard for a virtual summit. Yeah, if it's free, but ours was 100%. In fact, we had 85 people sign up the day of the event, and it's one of those like, what? Because there was a charge for it, because there was value to it. If it was free, how do you refer free? How do you hey, there's this free thing, it doesn't matter. It's like, if it has a little bit, they're going to show up. They're going to show up better. They're going to treat you better. They're going to see you as more valuable. So, now that I've talked to you, I think I'm going to raise the price for the Referral Mastery Summit. Thank you for that, Cody. I appreciate that. But it is one of those where, the law of compensation is you will be compensated for the value that you bring to the world, right?
Absolutely.
And the value is in the eye of the beholder, the eye of the client. And you've got to identify that, like you said earlier, is the gym didn't say free workout. How many times have we seen that? They didn't say our gym is really clean. They didn't say that. What they said is, would you like to lose a couple of pounds and feel better? And guess what? That's what they want. That's the value that a gym provides, is the opportunity for you to lose a few pounds and feel better about. So I love that. That's a great conversation. And this kind of goes hand in hand with another question I've got here, which is, you say most business owners really have no idea of what business they're in. What business are they in, and why is that?
Right. So a lot of people think of the Ray Kroc example with McDonald's and say, well, what business is McDonald's in? They're in the business of hamburgers. No, not correct. They're in the business of real estate. That's not what I'm talking about here at all. As a business owner, you're in the business of marketing, and what you sell is your product. So, for example, a dentist is in the business of marketing, and teeth restoration is his product.
That's right.
A coffee shop is in the business of marketing, and coffee is their product. Mm-hmm. It's like, you ask most business owners, you say, well, what business are you in? Well, I'm in the business of podcasting. No, you're not in the business of podcasting. You're in the business of marketing, and podcasting is your product. Mm. Because without the marketing, there is no business. You have no business. The whole build it and they will come philosophy is complete nonsense. That you build it and you'll go broke. It should be build it and go broke is right. The actual true statement, I would say.
Yeah.
So you've got to shift from thinking that I'm in the business of running a gym to I'm in the business of marketing, and the gym is my product that I'm marketing. Because at the end of the day, we will, as human beings, we will not behave in a way that's inconsistent with our identity for any length of time. Like we might, for a short period of time, we might go off the rails for a short period of time, but we come back. So there's 100 tasks that you can do as a business owner that will not make you money. There's literally no tasks you can do as a marketer that will not make you money. Mm-hmm. If you're marketing, you're winning. If you're marketing, you're making money.
Right.
So if you can shift that identity from being a business owner, which does not necessarily translate into making money, you shift that identity into I'm a marketer, then your subconscious will force you to behave in a way that's consistent with that identity, and that behavior will support the goal of being a business owner.
And marketing is lead generation. Is that the whole list? Is that whole thing of marketing is lead generation? Would you consider those, or how does marketing relate to prospecting? How does marketing relate to networking? Are those all a subset of the same thing, or are they different?
That's a very good question. So I think we have to come up with a definition of what marketing is to answer that question. So I would say marketing is the process of presenting your product to interested prospects in a way that creates desire and interest.
Okay.
So we can generate a lead without creating any desire or interest.
Yeah. So ADA. right? So AIDA is the backbone of marketing. For those that aren't familiar with AIDA, it's drive attention, right? We want the attention, which hopefully drives interest. And then the interest is going to hopefully drive desire. And then that desire hopefully drives action, which is why the call to action is it's a part of it. It's not just 25% of it. I would say it's more than that. But that's marketing in a nutshell, right? So you're saying that it's what drives that interest and desire in your product, and that's what you should be doing on a daily basis. So prospecting kind of does fit under marketing, would you say?
It does fit under marketing, but you can prospect and not. So the end result is like good marketing creates a desire to buy.
Okay.
So you can prospect without creating any desire. So for example,
well, in fact, you can do the opposite with prospecting.
Exactly
you
right.
Call in a way that irritates the person in such a way they'll never buy from you. Trust me, I just had it happen.
Exactly right. So like I would say, like you talked at the beginning, the 90-day marketing plan. So I hope that's a good example. So I would, my goal there is that one sentence title tells you everything you need to know to make a buying decision.
That's right.
If you heard nothing, if you knew nothing else about what that was, that one sentence is enough to make a buying decision. So what one sentence can you come up with that creates enough desire, interest, and inertia or activity, what's the word I'm looking for? Energy to
overcome inertia and get momentum, and move them towards you, right? We've got to overcome inertia. That's the hardest thing in the world with buyers, right? With the consumer. If you can get the consumer to overcome inertia, just take one little piece of action, the 1 degree tweak, right? Then you have moved a mountain. And that, you can always build momentum from there, but you said it earlier, is they quit too soon. They overcome inertia with the buyer or the consumer, and then they forget to follow up. And guess what? That consumer goes back to square zero.
That's right.
So that's awesome. And
so so just one thing, Mike, one of the most powerful sentences that any business owner can ask themselves that will if you can answer this question, you've got a great marketing campaign ready to go. And it is, if I could give you X, would you be interested? If I could sell you 1,000 copies of your book on my podcast, Cody, would you be interested? If I could get you to lose 15 pounds and feel great, would you be interested? If I could get you your dream house at 10% less than going market rate, would you be interested? So it's like, what is that X? If I could give you X, would you be interested? So with you can generate leads. If real estate, for example, would you like to be on a list where we email out properties every week? Well, that's not necessarily creating a lot of desire and interest. That's just like, well, I kind of feel like I need to do that. I'm going through the motions, right?
Right.
Versus if I could send you out a list every week of properties that meet this criteria that are at least 10% below current market value, it's like, but that person has gone from like probably never opening an email to getting really excited and anticipating that email that's coming in. So that, to answer your question, yes, lead generation is absolutely a part of marketing, but it's like there's good lead generation and then there's really bad lead generation as well.
Oh yeah. One almost said there's bad marketing and there's good marketing as well. The other thing too is entering this whole concept of time plus money plus convenience, right? Yeah. So one of the things, like in today's market, in the United States, many of the real estate markets are on fire. There is no 10% under market deal, right? It's more of, what if I could show you your house first? What if I could give you the first right of refusal on any home that meets your criteria? Perfect. You could get out there first before anybody else sees it, hopefully not get into a bidding war, and you could just have first. That doesn't mean you're going to buy it, but you can see it first, you can make a decision first, and then if you don't want it, we can move on. Rather, what's happening in the market right now is everybody's seeing the homes at the same time. You've got 10 or 12 competing offers, and people are paying $20,000, $25,000, $50,000 over asking price to get their homes. I think maybe we could save you 20,000 just by being on this list. What do you think?
Absolutely. And again, Cialdini, that, you're tapping into the scarcity principle there. It's like, it's giving people a reason to engage with you. It's like, I'm going to open this email the second it comes in because there's a chance I could miss out.
That's right. FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out.
I love this. All right. We cannot let you go without talking about the 90-day marketing plan, right? I mean, the best title in the history of the world, 90-day marketing plan. Guess what he covers in this book, people? Guess what he covers? And by the way, you need to go to codybutler.com to check out what he's doing. You can also check him out on Facebook at the official Cody Butler page. And I will tell you, so greatest title ever, I swear to God, 90-day marketing plan. They know what they're getting. They're going to open it up. There's no fluff. Everybody tries to come up with these really creative, like super duper titles. And then you come out with 90-day marketing plan and blow everybody away. So what is the 90-day marketing plan? Don't tell me what it's about. I've got that figured out. So give us a couple of nuggets from the 90-day marketing plan.
Okay, so what the 90-day marketing plan is going to take you from day 1 to day 90, week 1, week 2, week 3, and it's going to give you a step-by-step process to get clarity, focus, direction, and get it's the 80-20 of marketing. What is the 20% of activity that is going to create the 80% of results within your business? So a lot of people think, like, it's not a long book. It's only 140, 150 pages, I think, because we want more content is not more value, right?
Right.
So we want to give it to you in the simplest, easiest, most consumable way possible to get you from where you are to start generating revenue in your business as quickly as possible in a very concise, very clear step-by-step plan that you can implement over the next 90 days.
So if I buy it, then how much would it cost me to implement the 90-day marketing plan? I know this is not a rehearsed question, but you piqued my curiosity in many different ways. Whatever you're selling, I'm buying. I'm interested and I'm curious and I'm leaning forward and I'm saying yes a lot. So yeah. How much would it cost to implement the 90-day marketing plan?
So I would say in terms of actual infrastructure,
yeah.
If you want to be an A+ student, you're looking at probably $150 a month for the best infrastructure. And then on top of that is the next question really is that when we start running ads, the question really becomes, how much can I spend?
Yeah.
when people say, like, I talk to businesses all the time and I make them a proposal and they say, oh, well, that's not really in our marketing budget. And I'm like, well, the only reason you have a marketing budget is because your marketing's not working.
Right.
What you're basically saying is we've set aside $10,000 this year. We're prepared to lose to feel good.
Yeah, to throw away. Yeah.
Because the real question is, like, if I say, hey, Mike, I'll make you a deal. You give me $1, I'll give you $2 back. Do you want to make that deal?
Every day, all day. When can we start?
Exactly right. And then the question is, well, how many times can we make that deal, right? So if people find themselves asking the question, how much is this going to cost? Then it's because they're not yet at the point where they need to be spending anything at all. You still have some homework to do.
Yeah.
So the goal is through the first 90 days to get you to the point to where you're basically putting a vending machine in your business. You put $1 in, you get a Coke out. You put $1 in, you get a Coke out. It's the same. It's like at the end of the 90 days, if you've implemented everything properly, you haven't just kind of, skimmed through it. You've actually done the work. It's like you're going to be in a position to then start really advertising, running Facebook ads, running Google ads, running YouTube ads, running retargeting ads. And then you're at the point where you're going to put $1 in, get $2 out, put $1 in, get $3 out. And that's what I want for you. When you're at the point where you can predictably buy a $3 customer for $1, or you can buy a $10,000 customer for $3,000, that's when you've achieved financial freedom. That's when the money part of your life is handled.
Yeah.
So about $150. You can do it for free if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't. What money does is buy you time.
Yeah, you're talking $150 a month. I think the listeners who I have on Referrals podcast is they're worried that that's not enough, more than they're worried that that's too much.
Yeah.
So that's that's something that it's worth it, right? So everybody right now is going to buy your book. I mean, period. They're just gonna. Where can they get your book?
It's available at Amazon.com, or you can go to the 90-day marketing plan.biz or CodyButler.com. I don't make it hard for you to buy it.
CodyButler.com. You got your own URL. You got to love that. I remember the day I got MichaelJMaher.com. It was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we finally got it. So everybody's name, and yours is Cody Butler, which had to be a lot harder to find than MichaelJMaher.com. Well, this has been phenomenal. This has been fantastic, and we really didn't know each other before this, and I feel like we're old kindred spirits based on the marketing world, and we've come from a very similar background when it comes to the marketing and communication, and I love the no nonsense approach, but you're not hardcore marketing. You're not blast marketing. You're not bulk marketing. You're not mass marketing. What you're talking about is really super targeted and super friendly and super attractive. That's really what I'm hearing from this conversation is just like you're just looking to attract people to the product and to the value of the company. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah, look, absolutely. People don't object to marketing. They don't object to being sold to. They object to poor marketing, and they object to crappy sales, high pressure sales. It's like people love being marketed to. Like if it's like, Groupon was a great example, right? It's like you look forward to those emails because they're sending you products that you're interested in. It's like if you take the time to actually figure out what your prospective customer base want, what they actually really, really want, and then you figure out a way to communicate to them that they can get that from you, then marketing becomes a joy for both parties. The yucky part of it goes away because people are only seeing stuff that they're actually genuinely interested in, and that doesn't offend them. It's like to show somebody something that they want, to show them an outcome that they're looking for. What's offensive is when you get a bunch of spammy emails in your inbox that clearly is not related to you. It's just like, it's a spray and hope. It's like this person's obviously sent out 10,000 emails and hope that something's landed. So the analogy I use is like, we've gone from B-52 carpet bombing to, laser guided, the shotgun versus the sniper rifle approach.
That was dropped in through the door, right? Remember that?
Through the air, we're dropping a little laser guided bomb in through the laser, through the air vent. That's right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but you're exactly right, and that's awesome. But that's what I'm talking about here is just this approach that is it's friendly and yet inviting, and it works. And that's what I love about all of this is that it's like you said, it's people want to be marketed to in a good way.
Yeah.
And they identify with that and they want to do it. And people need to go check out the 90-day marketing plan. This book's on fire. There's a reason for it. Lots of great reasons for it, other than the title. I think everybody's going to be thoroughly impressed, even above and beyond the title when they go through it. And talk about a no-nonsense book, less than 150 pages, and you're getting a complete 3-month marketing plan. And guess what? Where we're coming up on the year could be the perfect timing for people to check that book out, start implementing it, and running with it. Cody, I've loved this. Our time has flown by. I really, really appreciate you, and I appreciate you coming on the Referrals podcast. And it sounds like we started season 3 and our year 3 with a bang. And I appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on, Mike. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Referrals podcast listeners and viewers, thank you so much. Man, we're going to hit 1 million downloads. It's going to be great. This is crazy. We're trending in Singapore. How crazy is that? I mean, it's like Sherry keeps giving me these numbers, and like every month it's just like, what? How's that even work? Well, you're making it happen. Listeners and viewers, you're spreading the word, you're subscribing, you're downloading, you're making it happen. My promise to you is we're going to deliver great content like we just did. We're going to continue to do that. But what you don't want to do is miss an episode, right? You don't want to miss an episode. So the way to do that is to subscribe, either iTunes or Stitcher or the new Google Play. And I hope you do. I hope you'd be willing to subscribe. And the other thing too is go check out Referral Mastery Summit, REFERRAL Mastery Summit.com, referralmasterysummit.com is our online summit where we're going to teach you everything on how to get referrals and repeat business. It is the #1 referral event of the year, and it's going to blow you away. Referralmasterysummit.com, and we will see you next time on Referrals Podcast. Thanks, everybody.